This is Improvement. Welcome. This will be episode 1 of the actual podcast, episode 2 of the concept improvement. We started off on aspects land of a changing man. I thought I would do the first episode on there to bring over into the new podcast. Well, the reason that I wanted to start improvements because aspects land of a changing man is basically about seeing change, up to who you are as a person, seeing most of the things that you were doing wrong, the ways that it would not carry out your plan to become the best you, and to see how you are surrounding yourself with problems. Many aspects land of a changing man. I was going through a time where my beliefs were about being down. So because I didn't see myself coming up, I used to make excuses. I used to do things that would put me in a position to where if I did wrong and got caught, I had to have an excuse for it. Knowing that I was doing wrong and waking up to being comfortable that I knew I was doing wrong and wanting to continue to actually do things around the realm of doing wrong, hope that it would make some right. I woke up. And as I woke up, I started to see some stuff happening. I started to see that I actually knew right from wrong. And I no longer wanted to make excuses for the wrongdoings. I no longer wanted to live in that type of that type of way. And it hurt because of a few things. One, the result I was getting from those. The results were not ones that I was happy with. Would make excuses for those results. And it just was turning very narcissistic. It came to how I had to deal with the results. It made me have to blame others. It made me have to look for excuses. It made me beat myself up. I wasn't happy with the things that I felt like I had to do. And when I say that with the excuse making, argumentative, insecurity, caused a lot of pain in my life, which brought me to the point of depression. It brought me down. It brought me to a way where I was scared. That's what it added up to, that I was scared. So after changing to a different person, I started to see things that improved me. Now, that's the difference between aspects land of a changing man. It was seeing things that I was doing wrong, and then improvement was seeing the things that improved me. It's things that can improve a lot of people. Most of the problems that I was having on aspects land of a changing man was a lot of problems that people have. Just a belief. Just belief. I mean, the influences that I had, the things that I was doing, and the vision that I had for me back then was not one that I had for myself now. So we move into improvement. It was like, all right, what things am I supposed to do to sit here and become a better person? Well, the first thing that I did when it came to improving myself was take myself out of the picture. I took myself out of the picture for a minute. I took myself into a place where I was alone. I was able to think. I was able to decide. The improvement is I decided. Wasn't um, indecisive. It was very comfortable with the decision that I made. I went to become homeless. I decided I could become homeless. The reason I decided that I would become homeless was because I was living a life where I was relying on other people to make my life better. I was relying on people to. I come from a family of women. Not a. There are men in our family, but they run together. They don't. There's not one you can actually, and you can look up to these men and say, okay, doing well, but you can't look up to them and say, one, he's married, two, he's successful, three, he has a calm demeanor, four, he's not about cheating, five, he's not about hustling, six, he's not about begging for money, seven, he's not, you know what I'm saying, indecisive. It was a lot of that. I looked at my family and I said, okay, there are men in this family, but which one of them men are ones I can look up to? So I decided I was going to look up to myself. Instead of being able to, and I'm not saying that there's bad men in my family. I tend to, because I'm so around my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family is a little distancy. It's because they live in a whole different state. Because of me, we don't have the best relationship. So, that side, they do have influential men, have survived and are, looking out for the family and everything else. But I tend to, look at my mom's side of the family because that's the side of the family I've been around the most. That's the side of the family I look at and say, well, these things need to change because I look at my mom's side of the family. And when I look at them and I see, what's going on, it's not really that good. So I decided to go homeless. And because I lived a life of, like I said, living off of other people. I have had my own apartment, but I didn't sustain my apartment. So I was with women all the time, or I lived with my grandmother, or I lived with my mom. It wasn't one where I could look at myself and be proud of. I had problems living with other people, arguments, and stacked with insecurities, stacked on with depression, stacked on with just indecisiveness, not understanding what role I was to play within those situations, laziness, all those came into. So I had to recreate myself. I went around and I went to the men's shelter, and being in the men's shelter, I recreated who I was going to be when I stepped outside of that. I spent some time there, and the one thing is that things get shaky for. It's times that you love other people and they're moving faster than you. To get out of that, you know what way you're supposed to go, but you still look at them and you say, man, maybe I should jump into their side and do what they're doing, and maybe I'll get. And it was like, no, you got a path down. You got to keep going down that path, no matter what, because it's not them needs to fix your life. It's you that need to fix it. So I decided to keep down my path in there, because I wasn't able to reach out to like the men around me, people that I can actually look up to. I became friends with people in the shelter, and got information and highlights on how to be a better person. But I really went to the internet and I started to watch people I started to look at different things. I started to look at, if men, influential in that and why they were the way they were. I started to look at masculinity, and I started to question what that was, and started to question off energy patterns, all those things that we don't we know it's our lives, but we don't put it into play in our lives, or research it, or do things in the matter where we get a better understanding for ourselves, not of ourselves, but for ourselves. Because the one thing that comes into play when you are doing this research is, where do you want to go? Why is it that you are looking at these things? And it's a very fun thing, because as a man, you would think that you would have to look at how to be a man, and it makes you feel some type of way to feel like you have to look at what a man is. Sorry, it's a movement, but it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of embarrassing to be over the age of 18, and be over the age of 20, be over the age of 30, and find out that you're not being what a man is supposed to be. That all the time that you've been watching, all the time that you've been being what you're being, it was not because of you actually being a man. It was because you were being a kid on the inside. You were lost on the inside, and instead of knowing what you wanted to do, you were guessing what you wanted to do. You were guessing things. You were guessing decisions. You were guessing how you should feel. You were guessing why you were in so much pain instead of knowing. And that was one thing that I had to figure out. So when I researched masculinity, I had to find out that I didn't know what masculinity was at all. It was not what I thought it was. And I had to find out what that I thought it was at first. I had to find out that, and it was actually manhood. So a lot of people will tell you that masculinity is manhood. That manhood is masculinity, and you being man is how you do things. Manhood is basically you getting a job, you feeling like a man, you saying you're taking on the responsibility of a man, and you're doing things that they say men are supposed to do. Masculinity is so different. Masculinity is the pattern of your thought process of being a man. Masculinity is the end that you give off when it comes to being a man. Are you comfortable holding the door? Are you comfortable being protective? Are you comfortable making decisions? Are you comfortable doing these things? Because this is the thing that we get hurt. Masculinity is going down. These is because so many people are not feeling appreciated being masculine. They you don't appreciate it for holding the door. You don't feel appreciated for making decisions. Always be a decision maker. Always being the guy that that men supposed to be. Never be just not all in their feelings. not argumentative, not uh not turn down the role of leadership, not here saying to yourself, okay, what's going on? Let's stop this. Having a voice, in what you say, and having a voice within your actions. It don't seem like that is the winning way. The meta part is it's always the winning way. Those couple of seconds that somebody that lives in a feminine energy becomes masculine and makes decisions and stays on decisions and keep going is the way. Then they go back to what it is. They give that masculine energy when it comes to talking to a woman, but then staying with a woman and making her feel as if she's with a man always and forever is not something that we feel, because there's other women out there. Or women cheat. We're not supposed to fear. Because the more we live in fear, the more everybody else can. Leaders are living in fear these days. They're living in fear, they're living in insecurity. And we don't have to live in that. We shouldn't. The one upgrade that I had in my life is when I knew that it was a decision that I couldn't have in fear, I had to take that. I had to take that decision, and I had to be okay with that decision. Even if it felt like it was going to make a big impact on life and be wrong, I had to be okay with that because it was the right decision. I'm okay with a decision that other people might not be comfortable with me making. But a right decision. I had to make decisions that I had to be with making decisions that hurt. But they were decisions. See, when you think of we got a saying these days, we got a term these days that men like to use. Alpha male. Alpha male is nothing but a C word for. It's a new sexy word for leader. Feels like a leader. He's a leader. On the inside. When you start to become a leader, most decisions will hurt because you have to make a decision that's best for the surroundings. You have to sometimes take away your feeling and make decisions upon what's best. And here's the part that people confuse things in. Most of the time, the decisions that leaders make is not the ones that are best for just them. They make it so that it's best for, hey man, what decision can I make that's best for surrounding? Surroundings, the things that are happening, what will make it so that the next play is the best? Sometimes you gotta pause because feelings are feelings. You know what I'm saying? Things are things. Like, all right, maybe this is wrong, or maybe I wasn't a little bit to my feelings. Let me calm down, turn around, let me see what's going on. Let me calm down. Let me go back and apologize. Let me not let these things take me out of the character that will make me and other people into a better person. Because once I do, I become selfish. I have to re-examine why I'm taking selfish decisions. Who am I hurting in the process of these selfish decisions? Is it best for me to do things? Is it best for, if I'm a leader, is it best for me to do these things for the next person? The best decision that I can make is one that benefits everybody around. Are we okay with that? Are we researching the type of things that will sit here and put us in that mindset? Because sometimes you can make a decision and you can be wrong. What do you do then? Sometimes you can sit here and want to make another decision, but you got to sit here and say to yourself, all right, cool. Sometimes you want revenge. Sometimes you want to show that you a man in a different way. Is it okay? Is it okay? So the thing that I say that the best thing that I say is we got to take ourselves out of that. I feel like I was in survival, and I took myself into another mode. Why did I feel so good in survival mode? Because sometimes it came with no cost. Something came with self-gain. Sometimes it came with decisions that hurt others but didn't hurt me. But then at the moment of time when I see the bridges burning and I see that, oh, I got caught, or, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, that was right, it didn't feel good. So I changed it up. Now, I don't want to get much into just rolling on about everything, so I might just go ahead and wrap this episode up. I only want to not get too into, you know, keep on going, but definitely do a roundup of the episode. We gotta wake up. We have to wake up. Some of us some of us are uncomfortable living as a follower when we're supposed to be a leader. Some of us live uncomfortable in places that we know shouldn't be. We're doing things in ways that we're not comfortable with. We gotta wake up. First step to recovery is acceptance. Improvement in, improvement out.